Guys, welcome back. 1776 or Bust. So today I'm going to do kind of a weird video because I don't actually have the firearm that I'm talking about in this video, at least not yet. It is on order. I got it from Kentucky Gun Company, and so I'm just waiting for that to be shipped and ultimately get it here in New York State, which of course is going to be the Walther PDP. Now, for those of you out there, I did a survey not too long ago on my YouTube channel. And it was kind of interesting because I wanted to see what your take was going to be on the PDP, what the level of interest would be. For me, I like Walther handguns. I'm a huge fan of the PPQ, the P99. The PPS M2 is a great gun. CCP, not so much, but overall, Walther has always produced fine handguns. So I asked the question, now that Walther has released the PDP, which catches your fancy? There are three distinct models. There is the compact, which is a 4-inch slide and basically your standard grip, which would be like a Glock 19. Then you also have the two full sizes, one that's like a 19X with a 4-inch slide with the full grip, 18 rounds, which is pretty impressive. And then of course the actual full size, which is, I think it's a 5-inch slide. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 5-inch. It's either 4.5 or a 5-inch slide, and then the full length grip as well. So in regards to what you guys said, it says here, the results, 58% of you believe that the compact, which is the Glock 19 size, would be the one that you would pick. Second place finisher was the 4-inch slide and full length grip, more like a 19X. And then the last place was like the Glock 17 size, full slide and full grip. So I thought it was kind of interesting because there were some people who also left comments saying that really doesn't mean much to them. They're not interested in the firearm, which is kind of interesting in itself because, again, Walther makes really good handguns. The PPQ is one of my all-time favorites. The trigger out of the box is great. The ergonomics were really, really good. I think ahead of its class when it first came out. Now, obviously, over time, the PPQ, I always was saying for a while, it just didn't age very well. It was time to get it refreshing. Although there is no PPQ M3 that's going to be made, they're actually, I guess phasing out the PPQ line in its entirety. What you're going to find is that the PDP is kind of a modernization of it, although, I'm not sure what to think of it just yet because I don't have it in hand. I've seen a ton of reviews. A lot of these guys got it right from Walther, which is pretty cool. However, I did not have that opportunity, but once I get mine in hand, I'll do a review, obviously. But I'm kind of excited because there are some things they changed on it. First off, they talk about the performance duty trigger. So basically, this looks like an entire new trigger system, which is kind of interesting because the PPQ's trigger was really, in when it was released, second to none. I mean, the trigger was amazing, a nice glassy take-up. It's a 100% pre-cocked striker. And then the actual reset was super, super crisp. Although a little bit more aggressive in the reset because it pushes your finger out quite a bit. We're going to see what this PDP trigger looks like. Basically, what they're talking about is that the internals have changed a little bit. Supposedly, the reset is going to be even better, and they're also shortening the length of travel. Now, again, I don't know 100% if that's going to be the case. I can't wait to get this in hand. Hopefully, it'll be in here within a month because everything takes a ridiculous amount of time up here in New York to get your stuff done. One of the other major improvements that they made, in my opinion, is also going to be the serrations. They call them the super terrain serrations. Yeah, it's kind of goofy, I think, the name, but it does look like they're extremely, extremely deep cuts, which should be able to be used very easily with wet hands, that kind of stuff. So these actual serrations look pretty sweet. I'm looking forward to getting my hands on that, because I think it's a vast improvement on the old PPQ slide. Again, the next thing they're talking about is their performance duty texture on the grip. I've noticed that a couple of people on their reviews had started talking about the grip texturing on the PPQ, saying it wasn't that great or whatever. Honestly, guys, I really think that's them just trying to market the new texture on the grip. The PPQ's grip texture was not that bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. I still think it was good enough to hold on to the gun. I was watching a review earlier today where they said, oh, the gun would move out of their hand. But then when you go back to looking at their original PPQ, review, they don't mention that at all, which I thought was kind of suspicious in my opinion. However, even with that, looking at what they're saying about the performance duty texture, it does look like it's going to be a lot more aggressive. It's going to have more of that sand or like a sandpapery grip feel to it. So that should be pretty interesting too. And obviously it goes all the way up to where you would rest your thumb, which is kind of nice. Gives you an extra point of contact with that firearm. So hopefully, if anybody did really have legitimate concerns about the grip texturing on the PPQ, this will hopefully take that and correct it for them. The one thing that I'm also a little skeptical on is the new ergonomics of the handgun. They're talking about red dot ergonomics. They're saying that the PDP was designed around making it easier for people to actually get a good co-witnessing, a good sight picture on their red dots. I'm not sure, again, if that's really true, because I've been looking at a lot of the videos. I've been looking at a lot of the images, and I've tried to see if there's really a significant improvement or, a change in the angle of the grip. I noticed that there is that little butt out at the bottom where your pinky would sit, and they're saying once you put pressure on that spot, it actually will drop the gun, so that makes it look even better, I guess, in regards to the red dot. However, if you look at the old grip with the PPQ, they look kind of the same, so I'm not sure exactly if that's legit. But again, once I get the gun in hand, we'll definitely know. Obviously, it is optic ready, which is kind of cool. I think that's a great thing for this firearm in particular. We've seen a lot of firearms that have come out, like the Masadas and the MOSs and all that other stuff. That's all red dot optic capable. Walther, of course, fitting into the line of guns that is now doing that, because that is the rage. That is the current trend in the firearm community. So I think that's a good idea, and that's probably a win-win. The last thing I'm going to talk about is the modularity of the firearm. And this one, again, I'm kind of confused about, I guess, in regards to the way they're marketing it. So they're saying that it's a modular firearm in the fact that you can take a 4-inch slide and put it on a full grip length handgun or lower, and vice versa. So if you want the dust cover, if you don't want the dust cover, I'm not really sure if that's modularity, so to speak. I mean, when we're talking about modularity, I think of the P320, the entire trigger system coming out and being able to change everything in regards to how the gun functions and how it looks and how it feels and how it shoots. I'm not sure if this is really modular in that regard. I do like the fact that all the components are interchangeable between the PPQ and the actual PDP. So you can run a PPQ slide on a PDP lower and vice versa. So I think that's kind of good, but I'm not exactly sure if that's what modularity truly means in the spirit of the word modularity. I mean, overall, I think the PDP is going to be a pretty cool gun. Like I said, Walther makes great handguns. The PPQ has always been one of my favorite. I think if this really tends to be the modernization of the PPQ, I think this is a good way to look at it. Now, I'm curious to see the height of the bore axis on there, because, obviously the PPQ is a pretty high sitting gun. Again, I'm not sure if that's going to be higher or lower. It seems to be about the same height on the slide, but again, looks can be deceiving, and until I get it in hand, I won't know that. So look forward to that review. Hopefully within a month, that gun will be on the channel. Again, it's paid for. I'm just waiting for it to be shipped. And then I've got to go through the long, ridiculous process of getting the firearm in hand in the state of New York. So look forward to that. If you guys have any comments, please leave them down below. Tell me what your thoughts are on the PDP, and we'll go from there. So I hope you guys have a great day. Stay safe, and as always, freedom is never free.